right now?
I'm just west of Denver in Lakewood, Colorado.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna go right into it. We're gonna ease into it. So why don't you just start off telling us a little bit about maybe where you grew up?
Sure. Yeah, I grew up outside of Milwaukee in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, until I was almost 10 years old when we moved to the foothills of Colorado in a small, little, teeny tiny town called Indian Hills, Colorado. And going from suburban Milwaukee to foothills of Colorado, where the smallest lot size was 2 acres, was complete and total culture shock for us kids. And my poor mother could not go anywhere without us because we'd be like, no, don't leave us here. And I've just lived in Colorado ever since.
Oh, nice. Thanks for so speaking of just your childhood, can you, as you look back, can you think of some things that you were interested in as a kid that maybe led you to this path of marketing?
Well, I do, as you know, Ranika, which, but our audience doesn't. I do a whole lot of everything.
Yeah.
And certainly when I was young, I definitely had an interest in art. I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, and I won a drawing contest for drawing a picture of my dad walking the dog, which he never did, by the way. but, but I drew a picture of it and won a contest. So I've always liked art, and so I like to do a lot of the graphic design for Engage Art, and the social media graphics and that kind of thing. So certainly when I was younger, the art end of things was definitely an interest.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, Kirsten. Sorry about that. That's pretty neat. It's neat to because I work with you. It's neat to hear some of those childhood things too. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm gonna keep going here with our questions. Now, because I see you in this environment, right, all the time, what do you like to do when you are away from everything marketing, away from Engage Art? What do you do just to have fun?
Oh, I love to read and be outside. Right now I'm sitting out on my patio. I like to garden. I love flowers, and I like going for walks with my dogs. And definitely reading any chance I get.
Nice. That's awesome. I think I could see that too, you being a good reader. I feel like you're one of those people that just know so much. Now, here's probably one of the things that artists are waiting for to hear, right? Social media is so huge in our world. Obviously, we're using the platform right now, right, to reach our audience and let people know about what we're doing. And artists use social media to promote their artwork, collaborate with other artists, and to sell their artwork. So, what are at least three tips that you think you can give our artists today when it comes to social media and marketing?
Sure. I think the biggest thing in marketing in general is to bring awareness to yourself, to your product, to your art as an artist. And one of the best things you can do is take great pictures and share them often. And I hear from a lot of people, oh, but I've already shared that. Share it again. Trust me, the same people, there might be one or two people who saw it the first time, but your post goes out to a different group of people every single time because they're constantly changing the algorithms on social media. You never know who you're going to reach with your posts. There's a article that came out yesterday talking about Facebook's algorithm, and they use who you've interacted with recently as part of that algorithm of who gets to see your post. So interact with people that you're friends with on social media platforms, comment on their stuff, like their stuff, go and join other artist groups, and participate in them, much like our Facebook artist group. But there's thousands of groups out there for artists. So I would really encourage you to take great pictures, share often and frequently, and comment, like, share, interact with your audience as much as you possibly can.
Those are great tips, and it sounds like too those are things we can kind of take for granted because they sound
Hmm.
kind of easy just interacting. So that's really, really helpful. So another question I have is, what do you find can be most challenging when it comes to marketing, whether it's for EA or just in general? What are some things that might be challenges?
I think as digital as the marketing world has become, it's keeping up with the constant changes. And what worked yesterday is not going to work next week. And just making sure you're staying on top of all of the changes in the industry, and trying to really optimize and target your audience. I mean, there's an old saying about marketing, and it's when you're marketing to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. And so I like to really remember that and think about, okay, who do we want this to reach? And focus your content, and focus, your website content, which is another important tip for artists. Make sure you have a website, so that your art can be found, and link to it often in social media. You can actually even put it on every single post, to get attention to your art. But staying on top of the latest trends and technologies. There's so many different technologies, and not all of them work. And not all of them work for different industries as well. One technology might work great for a doctor's office, say, but it doesn't necessarily work well for somebody who's got a mom and pop store or something along those lines.
Right. That's really good. I feel like this is just good information just in general. Thank you. So if we kind of go to the other side of that question, what do you find just most rewarding in what you do with marketing, engage art in general?
Anytime that I can hear that we have made a difference for somebody, that is the biggest win for me. Getting an email from an artist saying how profound the experience of participating in the contest has been. Last year, when we did the artist survey of all the artists who entered the contest, and
Yeah.
then getting their feedback, I'm getting chills just thinking
Yeah.
about it right now. It was just so powerful to see, that we touched people's lives. And I think that is definitely the thing that is most rewarding to me. And of course, a close second is, having things work.
Yeah.
Having those tests of new technologies and those kinds of things, seeing the great open rate on emails, and that always excites me as well. I'm a
Absolutely.
tiny bit competitive that way.
Absolutely. And you're so great at what you do. I just
Well,
wanted to
thank
say
you.
that, Kirsten. And it's just a pleasure to work with you, to learn from you. And I just needed to say that.
Well, thank
Um,
you.
and with saying that, this is the question I'm really most excited about, probably because of my personality. Do you have a like a crazy just marketing story? Just something that's bizarre or just nuts?
Well, I mean, there's always things that go dramatically wrong. But I try to forget those as soon as possible.
Right.
I mean, I guess I don't know how crazy this marketing story is, but back in 2004, I owned a printing company at that time, and one of my customers came to me and asked me if I would print some flyers for a fundraiser. And the fundraiser was to build a permanent memorial for the victims at Columbine High School shooting. And I said, yeah, sure. And we just started talking about what can we do? Nobody knows that we're still trying to build this thing. And we started with, I think, fundraising for dummies. And our first fundraiser, we raised $52.
Mhm.
But over the next 2 years, with contacting the media and using basic marketing techniques to bring awareness to the community. Look, we have some of the money, but we don't have all the money to build the memorial. Over the next 2 years, I got to meet President Bill Clinton. I got to meet our governor, and we had many events, and we had car washes and bake sales and golf tournaments. And President Clinton came out to Colorado for the groundbreaking of the Columbine Memorial, and I largely spearheaded fundraising for over $1 million in 2 years. And it was just about bringing awareness, and marketing is awareness for sure. So make sure you do whatever you can to get in front of people, because it can make a big difference.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I think it's also just a testament to just to the gift that you have, Kirsten. It's
Yeah, thank
evident
you.
in working with you. What about when it comes to engage art? Do you have a favorite memory or anything thus far?
Well, gosh, since I got involved with Engage Art, like my favorite time of all is meeting with you guys in person.
Yeah.
That is just always so powerful. And, we talk on the phone and we have Zoom meetings and all that kind of thing, and emails out the yin yang. So it feels like we know each other. And then when we get to see each other, it's just so exciting and so awesome. I'm just really looking forward to hopefully being able to have an award ceremony this year, and well, not this year, next year, at the end of the contest, and just really being able to interact with the artists in person. And that's definitely just such a powerful time, with our founder, Bill. He's so inspiring, and just has such great messages. Those are the times that are super special to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really do miss those times being
Yeah.
together. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then we've come to the last question. If our artists have heard nothing else in this live, what is something that you want them to remember, something that you would like to stick with them?
Well, um, I think I think what I would like to say most is, don't worry about it being perfect. And I would also like to say that, don't worry about, we get a lot of emails from people saying they're worried they can't participate because they don't feel like they're Christian enough.
Mhm.
And to that I would say a resounding absolutely not. That is not a requirement of the contest. And the topic of the contest is something that we have all been touched by in one way or another, in fighting a spiritual battle of some kind, whether it's depression or whether it's, a tough marriage, or whatever the case might be. We all have a spiritual battle. Maybe we're struggling with wondering what the right thing to do is. And being able to express that through art is something I so admire. I mean, I can do graphic art, but I'm not a painter or a singer by any stretch. Just ask my children. but so that's really important, is just don't worry about it being perfect. We want to see your art. There's beauty in imperfection. And don't worry about whether or not you think you're Christian enough,
Mhm.
because, you know just having had a spiritual battle that they have gone through qualifies them for this contest.
Mhm.
And obviously, our faith is central to everything that we do at Engage Art. But we really want to encourage everyone to participate, and take from us what you will, and what